It's finally Friday.
It's Friday, Friday.
Thank God it's
Welcome to a special edition of the Friday Show presented by Cal Racing Cares. I'm Scott Jagow along with Ray Paulick. We're at Gulfstream Park, eagerly awaiting the Clasico del Caribe, the Caribbean Classic, the 50th running of this Kentucky Derby of the Caribbean region. It's being held in the United States for the first time. So this week we've learned about the culture, the background, the traditions. Now it's time to get down to the handicapping, the actual races on Saturday's card. What have we learned, Ray, this week that you think will help us?
One of the things, these horses come from everywhere, and not only will people in the United States be betting the Gulfstream card, but throughout Latin America they'll be betting it. They'll basically stop what they're doing late in the afternoon Saturday, and that could influence the betting and create some opportunities, I think. If people from one country bet a little bit more than people from another country,
on their horses.
On their horses, sure. Right. Do you think they're going to bet against their horses?
Well, here in South Florida, obviously, there are a lot of Latin Americans.
Venezuelans especially.
Venezuelans, and so you have a bigger contingent from some countries than from others. So there certainly could be some betting opportunities if you look through that lens, as morning line maker Jay Stone pointed out to us.
The odds will definitely be affected by where these horses are from. Venezuela has a huge amount of horsemen here and a huge amount of people that bet here. So a Venezuelan horse that can run is going to take a lot more money than he ordinarily would here.
There's so many handicapping variables that you don't see in a normal day. Horses are coming from different racetracks that have completely different surfaces and different countries where the environment, the training is different.
Well, I think that makes it fun for one thing, but it also makes it a challenge. One variable could very well be altitude. You don't normally think about that here in the U.S. when horses are shipping in from various places. The influence of altitude trainings, like with the Olympics. We talked to one of the trainers here who has a pretty big contingent from Mexico. His name is Fausto Gutierrez.
The question is, I don't know when you start to lose this, because we have here around 1 month. But anyway, you see the horses and have very good acclimatation. The digestion, everything is much better. When go to gallop, open gallops, return like nothing happened. In Mexico is different. The pollution, the big altitude. It's not secret, no? It's the same to have the Olympic athletes go high and after come down for the competition. So yes, it's a point in our favor, absolutely.
Well, I can think of only one horse in the United States that's benefited from altitude training, and that goes way back to the early 1980s. A mare named Track Robbery, who was purchased after racing at Centennial Park in Denver, went out to Santa Anita, won a series of races, became an Eclipse Award-winning mare. I think she benefited from training in the Mile High City.
I didn't hear that story before. That's a good one. All right, so we've got a couple of variables we've talked about. Let's get down to handicapping, picking the races. Let's go with the big race, Clasico. Who do you like?
I am all in on the Mexican 3-year-old filly, Hala Hala, ridden by Irad Ortiz. She's consistent. She's coming off a big win. I just think she's in a good spot to win again.
I like that pick. I'm going to go against the grain here with the outside post, and I'm going to pick Fry Angelico to win. The Panamanian horse who does have a compromised post position like California Chrome did, but I think there's going to be a lot of speed inside. He's going to be able to get over and get a decent position, I guess mid-pack stalking position, and he's going to close. His last 3 races, he's gone from 3rd to 2nd to 1st as the distances have increased, and I think he's going to win a 4th for trainer Droopy.
Alberto Paz Rodriguez, yeah. AKA Droopy, has won over 6,300 races in his career. He's a legend. And I'm not against your pick. The post position is what got me off.
It's tough. All right, one other pick on the card that you like.
Yeah, well, I like another Mexican horse, a Triple Crown winner in 2015, who was 2nd in a controversial running of the Clasico Caribe that year, Huitla Coach. I actually saw this horse a couple years ago in Mexico City, a really nice colt. He's 18 wins, 9 seconds from 27 starts. That's about as good as it gets.
All right, my pick is going to be in the Dama del Caribe, which is the sort of the distaff for 3-year-old fillies. And I'm going to double down. You're doubling down on the Mexicans. I'm doubling down on the Panamanians.
Okay.
I've got Lady Valerie, who just finished third behind my pick in the Clasico, Fry Angelico, and another horse that's running in the Clasico. So she was racing against the boys and finished third. That's pretty impressive. Now she's back against the fillies. So Lady Valerie, to me, might be a single on the multi-race wagers tomorrow.
All right, well, we're here at Gulfstream Park. We're about 7 weeks away from the Pegasus World Cup. How do you think things are shaping up?
Well, we've heard some, rumblings about the field and how it's coming together. Certainly, it's certainly different than last year, where it was set in stone. There were some last-minute machinations going on, but this year we don't even know who's actually in the field totally. But it does look like it's shaping up to be a more competitive race than last year, based on the horses that we think are going to be in it.
Yeah, I mean, right now we know that Gun Runner, Bob Baffert has 2 in West Coast and Collected. Dallas Stewart and Charles Fipke have a pair. Maybe they'll run both Forever Unbridled and Seeking the Soul. Maybe just run one of them. There's going to be some depth of quality, but will there be 12 horses in the starting gate? That's a big question.
Well, it's pretty exciting for Gulfstream Park to have this event, the Clasico del Caribe, and then the Pegasus on the horizon. So good times here at Gulfstream Park. That's going to do it for this edition of the Friday Show, presented by Cal Racing Cares. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.